Thanks for clicking on my video. I'm going to make some stubby pencils out of clay. Watch my process right. This is the art project, and I do a lot of videos on art, different kinds of art, and today I'm going to do some ceramics. I'm going to do some pottery. Thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already, and if you enjoy the video, please hit like. So I'm going to make a pencil out of clay, and I do this I do a lot of pencils, or I've done a lot of pencils. You can see some of my other videos on pencils, but in the past I've done a few sculptures of pencils using pottery or using clay out in my wife's studio. My wife has a pottery studio, and she's a fantastic potter on the coast, and I hope to show some of her pottery before too long on some videos. But I got a chance to come out here and make some sculptures of my own, and so I'm using an extruder to extrude some cylinders, basically some pipes. It's a wonderful device. It's kind of like a giant Play-Doh extruder for grown-ups, and so I'm putting together a fitting. This is what makes it hollow right here. This is a piece that's got a little circle. You bolt it on there, and then you're going to put it in the device kind of like this, and it will make hollow tubes just like on a Play-Doh extruder, only much larger. So this is really kind of a medium-sized pipe. I can make one just a little bit larger, but I couldn't find the pipe. I couldn't find they call them a die. I couldn't find the die for the largest extruded pipe that I could make. And as it turned out, the last time that I used this a week or so ago, I cleaned it out and I threw the stuff that was in there away. And just so happens that I actually threw the die in the trash can. And after I was done making these pencils today, I told my wife I couldn't find it, and she said, well, you got to find it. And so we started looking all over the place, and we dug around, and sure enough, I found it in the garbage can, close to throwing it away and taking it to the street and never seeing it again. So glory be to God, I found it, and maybe my wife will let me keep working. So anyway, I'm loading the extruder here full of clay, and packing it down in there. And then I'm going to take this plunger and put it in the top and crank it down a little bit. Now the first couple of times that I squish it down in there, it actually has to fill up the reservoir around the die. Whenever you're making a hollow one, there's about 3 inches in the bottom that you can't really squeeze out because of that piece that I bolted together. And so I've got to get the clay to like fill in around it and create just fill that all in. So I'm having to squish a whole lot of clay into it here at the very beginning. And once I get that done, you're going to see it's going to start extruding out of the bottom of the extruder here in just a moment. There it goes. Woohoo! You have to kind of hold it straight or it will curl up on you as it comes out. So I'm just kind of guiding it straight. And then I'm going to speed this up because you don't want to watch me do this all day long. Got to keep this video under 10 minutes. So here we go. I think I did about 5 of these, so here's number 2. Here's going to be number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Yep, about 5 of them. I even got one that's kind of curved, and I'm going to make a curved pencil out of it. But I decided to start with some simple ones first and just do some sort of stubby pencils. Now, in order to shape, I like to use a paddle. And right here, I am kind of extending the clay even more to make it a little bit thinner, so that when I paddle it together at the tip to make the point, it is the clay is a little bit thinner, so when it comes together, it's going to get thicker, but it won't be too thick. So, just using this. This is a wooden spatula that I don't know where we got it, but it's basically for stirring stuff in the kitchen when you're cooking. Just a wooden spatula that we got probably from a cook store. So using it to paddle the end of the clay until it becomes a point. Looks like a torpedo, doesn't it? So if you are a potter and you have another way you think you should do this, or another way that this could be done, let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to cut off just a little bit of this at the end of another one and flatten it out and use it to seal up the end of the eraser end, the end of the pencil, and basically create a real torpedo-like shape. So I'm scoring the end right here with a special rib that's serrated on one end, and I'm going to score this flat piece of clay all over. And this just helps the clay to join together better. I'm going to wet both of them down a little bit. My clay was pretty wet anyway, but I'm going to join the two together. I don't know if you saw that just then, but I just flattened the tip of my pencil and probably had to re-paddle it a little bit. And there it is. There's one pencil shaped, not completed yet. I still got to put some details on it. Alright, now here I'm going to do a little bit longer piece. It kind of looks like I'm paddling towards the pipe, but I'm actually paddling away. There we go. Just make it a little bit thinner, and then I'm going to paddle it into a point again. I was going to do this one at an angle so it looked like it had been erased with a little bit, but by the time I was done, it actually came out a little bit more flat, and it would just stand up on its own. So I may change that up before it's completely dried out. I'm not done with the pencils yet. By the way, this is just part one of the series on these pencils. I will try and video some more of the details and the firing and the glazing so you can see the whole process. This is part one. Did this today. Attach another end, and then here I am putting a dent so it'll look like the eraser goes down into the furrow. I'm just using that same paddle. You can see the dent in this picture. And now I'm measuring for the furrow. Remember, it's a stubby pencil, so the furrow is pretty big. The pencil's been sharpened down quite a bit. I'm using a fettling knife to create the facets of the pencil. A six-sided hexagonal pencil. And then I'm going to use this other rib that is for, usually my wife uses it for throwing, but it's got a couple little points on it, so I can use it to create some dents all the way around my pencil. And there's one pencil done. Now I'm going to do the same thing on two more pencils. Create the eraser, measure for the furrow, create the facets. Once I got to this part, it really did go pretty fast. I think I spent maybe an hour and a half on everything that I've done so far from beginning to end. Got the facets on there, and now I'm going to create the little ribs on the ferrule, the little indentations on the ferrule. Am I saying that right? Is it a ferrule? A ferrule? A ferrule? What do you call that silver thing on the end of a pencil that holds the eraser onto the pencil? Does it hold the eraser onto the pencil, or does it hold the pencil onto the eraser? Tell me in the comments down below what you think. How do you pronounce it? What is it called? What do you call it? And is it for holding the pencil onto the eraser or the eraser onto the pencil? Put a couple more indentations in it, and then we have another pencil. Have all 3 pencils done. There they are. Again, like I said, they're not complete. I'm going to carve a number 2 into the sides of all 3 of them. I've still got to fire them, and then I'm going to glaze them and spray paint the silver parts and basically make 3 pencils. That is what I did today. If you got any questions or comments or suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, please hit subscribe, and please share my video on your favorite social media platform. See y'all later.